Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. I've managed to find the stats of the stage 1 and 2 of the new Dismal Future Edition of Red Zone. We're on Dokkan's Twitter, so I will leave his link down in the description if you do want to go check him out yourself and take a look at these in depth in your own time. But we're going to go through them because these stages were hitting ridiculously hard and seemed a lot difficult for the opening stages of the new Red Zone. So first up from stage 1 we have Android 18 and her stats are as follows. So the HP is 20 mil, no wonder why you can fly through so quickly. He's already doing 380k on a basic, which I'm not gonna lie is actually quite a lot. When you consider units need to build up, things like that, you know, we've seen it with so many units. Even the units I used, you know, the year 7 blues, Birdcue needs to stack, Gammas need to be here, or Gamma 1 needs to be here, Gamma 2 needs to attack. All those kind of things. 50k defense, 60% damage reduction. And on super attack, she doesn't do anything, but she does do 950k on a super straight away. That is on the same level as Sin Shenron. JP does have a mega granted, but that is on the level right now on global anyway as Sin Shenron. A stage 1 beginning enemy of the new Red Zone does pretty much roundabout the same sort of similar damage as Sin Shenron does, as one of the latter stages, currently final and global, but latter stages, the penultimate stage of the Shadow Dragon event. And this is stage 1 of the new Dismal Future Red Zone. Deep it this way. There is still stage 3, potentially stage 4 and 5 to come. If they're doing it the way I expect them to do it, there is still like 3 more stages for them to do, and we're already getting 950k from Android 18 herself in stage 1. That's crazy. Of course, she doesn't have anything else. You can dodge her, things like that. Kind of the standard things, can't stun, can't steal. You can actually lower her defense, so no wonder why we could, you know, kind of absolutely annihilate her health bar, but she's pretty much a glass cannon. He'll do a lot of damage in the beginning, which you could easily be caught by with units, as I mentioned, that need to build up, because a lot of them do nowadays. But you can pretty much shred her health bar in no time, especially if you have type advantage. But 950k, she is on the realms of phase 1 of Sin Shenron from the Shadow Dragon event. That's wild. Then we have Android 17, only 5 million more HP. Again, you can kind of fly through his phase as well, so that makes sense. Up to 420k on a basic, 50k defense. Less damage reduction, funny enough. But again, just like 18, you can kind of just fly through with the heavy hitting units of the game. You can just fly through his phase. Not only that as well, type advantage, you're just going to clean his health bar out. No buff, nothing, no gimmick, but he goes up to 1 million. He does 100k more on a super attack compared to 18. 1,050,000 damage. As I said, the thing you need to deep, right, is this is stage 1 of Dismal Future Red Zone. Stage 1. You only got to these kind of lengths of damage in the latter phases or the latter stages of other Red Zone events and the Shadow Dragon event. Like, you were taking this damage at least the earliest stage 3, and then the damage will drop down because there's a gimmick and then go back up. But no, you're taking 1 million, just over 1 million on super in stage 1 of this Red Zone. Can you imagine how much damage, like, the stage afterwards is going to do? Or Emerging Marshal in the final stage is going to do? Can you imagine what he's going to be up to? Like 1.6, 1.8, maybe even 2 mil. Or maybe they'll just give him 1.6 and a gimmick, like 1.6 and lock, 1.6 and seal, 1.6 and lower defense, 1.8 even, who knows? And then what's the final phase for these two? Damn. So 35 million HP, again, I even said this during the run, they really did feel like a glass cannon, especially again when I was using the, I think it was the Friend Blues. Type advantage, they were transformed, we were hitting so much damage. That's the kind of part that makes these guys easy. Yes, you can easily be caught, but you can easily do damage to them. They don't have the most HP, they don't have the most defense and damage reduction in the world. As long as you're using your big boy units and you can just absolutely clock them for damage, you can kind of get in and out of this stage before you're caught. Or as long as you pop a Whis, you might be right, depending on what unit gets hit. But you can kind of do enough damage where you should probably be fine, even though I did die like twice on this. But still, I didn't know what I was expecting. But, you know, you can kind of fly through because you can just melt their health bar. I didn't even know that on Super Attack, they raise attack and defense by 30%. So that means this basic of 460k is like in the realms of 500-600k. Their basics can hit. If they super and then basic you, especially on the wrong unit, you're taking a bag of damage in that turn. Defense as well, that's not really going to change too much for them, I'll be honest. You can still just absolutely melt their health bar. But 1.288 million on a super. This is getting towards Broly's final phase level of damage. Just deep that. Think about that for a moment. Broly does like 1.4. This, stage number 1, is doing 1.288. Granted, Broly has more health, more defense, more things like that. But if you get caught with a super, and less phases as well, on stage 1 of this, you're about 100, about maybe 200k tops, 100, just over 100k off a Broly super attack, who at one stage or another was considered the hardest enemy in the game. Damn. That's crazy. Pretty sure you can dodge these two though, which is nice, which is helpful. Damn. 1.288. I can't get over the fact that this is stage number 1. We have more stages to go, let alone the final stage. We still have stage 3, stage 4, stage 5 potentially, maybe even a stage 6 if they somehow squeeze another one in. Don't know how they would, but there are still more stages to come, and this is already on stage 1. Dokkan has got to ridiculous lengths, they really have. But stage number 2 against First Form Cell. Okay, I knew he was a bit more meatier. 75 billion HP, I kind of knew that just because of how much his health bar was withstanding. 490 on a basic straight from the beginning. Again, even the basics can catch you on the wrong unit and units that need to build up. Almost 500k on a basic straight away. This is why as soon as I saw how much damage he was doing on a basic, I popped an item. Or I just popped an item. No, I popped an item immediately just to be safe. And even with like Guard and a Whis, which is Guard and 40% damage reduction, I remember the Gods were still taking a lot of damage on a basic. But again, it kind of makes sense why he's so meaty, so beefy, is because he literally has one phase. That's it. You beat it, you're done. 490 on a basic. Damn. 8k defense, 62% damage reduction. He actually, I didn't know that either. He actually raises attack on super by 30%. So after Cell super attacks, if he supered you and you survived, his basics are then nearing like 600k. That's a lot of damage. And again, this is a one phase fight. You don't have time. There is no progressive build up for this to get more difficult, where you're like, okay, let me build up my units. Let me stack up these units. You don't have the time. You get them to where you get them, you pop a transformation, you pop their active, you get in and out of this as quick as you possibly can. Otherwise, you can take some serious damage. And I mean, we kind of saw that in my run, which, funny enough, I actually found Cell in the run that I had, which luckily enough, clearly, was easier than my 17 and 18 run, because I died twice there, and Cell I just done in one. But with this type of HP bar and this super attack, or sorry, this basic attack damage and this super attack damage, while being able to raise their attack stat by 30%, or his attack stat by 30%, I said, you want to get in and get out. You want to get in and get out. You can dodge him though, which is good. Like, very good. So any of those people going dodge build, they've got 3 dodge put in their units, or just taking units that dodge like God Goku, Gogeta when he transforms, maybe VB and Gogeta Blue after they transform into blue. At least you can do that. But that's a lot. But 1.372 mil on a super. I mean, it makes sense why Cell has one phase, but this is ridiculous. Again, this is stage number 2. Stage number 2, and he is just short of how much damage Broly does. That's wild. Cooler Core only does like, what, just over 200k more than him. This is what I mean. When we get the final stage, right? Merge Masu. Let's just say it is Merge Masu. As I said, are we going to see like 1.8 mil, 2 million on a super? Or maybe a bit less because he's going to have a gimmick that's just going to absolutely infuriate my life. I'm not gonna lie, this Dismal Future Red Zone might actually end up being the hardest event in the entire game. If Dokkan carries on with this type of damage, I can see this being the most difficult event in the game. And we don't even have a Mega yet in the Shadow Dragon event. We get that in a couple months' time. But if they carry on down this route, I could see Merge Masu, if that is the final enemy they choose for the final stage, being the most difficult enemy in the game. Do you know why this 1.372 million damage is also a lot more intimidating? Because, again, Broly, 1.4. You have 4 phases to run through. Cooler Core only has 2, but you're stuck in against Cooler Army for 3 turns. Sin Shenron, on global anyway, currently the most difficult event in the game. Yeah, starts off with like 900k on a super, then goes to a mil, then goes to like 1.2, 1.3. But that's 3 phases worth before you get there. Cell, on only stage 2 of Dismal Future Red Zone, right away is hitting you with 1.3 mil on a super. Any of the big boy units that need to build up, if you don't have an item active, you're done as soon as this event begins. And that's before you have to slog it out and melt down his hench HP bar. And don't forget, his basics will only get stronger after he supers as well. So, like, if you're building a unit up, as I said, you need to go into this, get in and get out as quick as you possibly can. Use units that can survive, but do big amounts of damage quickly. Like an SSBK, even though it would be incredibly risky to bring him because of like this and this, because he needs to build up, you get his guard of a reps category enemy, or category ally, or Universe Survival Saga category ally, whichever it is, can't remember off the top of my head, and you get him built up as quick as possible with a Whis, and then just go to town in terms of how much damage you're going to do. Get in and get out. That is the strat against First Form Cell. It is get in and get out as quick as possible. Because I said, on a 1-phase enemy, which makes sense why he has such a strong HP bar and does so much damage both on basic and super, units don't have time to build up. It's kill or be killed at this point. Again, at least you can dodge him. Like, of course, we have the standard stuff. You can't lower attack, you can't lower defense, can't stun, can't seal. We're kind of used to all that at that point. At least you can dodge, which is nice. But yeah, 1.372 million on a 1-phase fight that has no extra phases, no build up, no progressive difficulty increase. You're just getting molly-whopped from the beginning is wild. No wonder why I was sitting there thinking, these are doing quite a lot of damage. That's because they do. These first 2 stages are on smoke. As I said, we still have more stages to come. So I could easily see Dismal Future being one of the hardest hitting Red Zone stages in the game. And when a Merge Masu Red Zone stage drops, he will probably be the most difficult enemy in the game. If he doesn't do like 1.82 mil on a super, he's going to do like 1.4, 1.6 with a gimmick, which is going to make him an absolute pain. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Hopefully this helps you for any of your Red Zone runs you end up doing. I will cover more stages as they drop. The first 2 stages, man, they're packing heat. So be careful if you haven't done them already. If you have enjoyed the video and this does help, don't forget to drop a like. And if you are new, consider hitting the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day. And peace.